Good morning, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is John Legg, and I am an employee at Champs Americana at East Street Mall. Champs Americana is a nationally chained sports-themed restaurant that was opened at East Street Mall in 2004. Champs has a normal menu that you would expect at a sports bar-themed restaurant, such as burgers and french fries and chicken fingers, but you could also have orders such as ribs, sauteed items, salads, and desserts. Champs can currently seat nearly 600 guests, as well as employees over 60 employees. I've been employed at Champs for over 4 years. I've been trained to its entirety of the back of the house training procedures, which includes being cross-trained on all 5 major cooking stations, being trained as a preparatory chef and expediter, and over the last couple months, I have assisted my kitchen manager in producing production costs and calculations on a regular basis. This ensures my kitchen manager of receiving correct information on our production as well as our inventory turnover. The problem that I am presenting to you today is the current policy that we have at Champs on smoking. It has become evidently clear over the last couple months that smoking has become a problem and that it has resulted in a decrease in productivity, hygiene, employee morale, as well as customer satisfaction. But to look and improve a policy, we must observe the policy and see what we can improve. To go on a smoke break at Champs Americana, all breaks must be approved by a manager, with a maximum of 5 minutes per break, and a maximum of 2 smoke breaks per shift. You must be at least 50 feet away from the back door to ensure proper ventilation into the kitchen, as well as no breaks are permitted between the hours of 11 and 2 and 5 and 8, for those are our prime, lunch, and dinner rush hours. As mentioned before, there are multiple problems that arise from this smoking policy. One of those is the misuse of the smoking policy by employees. These examples include avoiding manager's approval to go out and smoke, breaks lasting longer than 5 minutes, and workers smoking immediately outside the back door. This is an unscripted picture of me walking to out of the back door of Champs and seeing three servers sitting outside the door, one sitting on a dumpster smoking a cigarette. Right above this picture, there's a ventilation shaft that goes right into the kitchen that you can smell cigarette smoke from a mile away. It dampens the entire smell inside the kitchen, and I guarantee that you can smell it in the dining room as well. Which leads me to my next problem, which is the decreased satisfaction and hygiene as employees. And more specifically, servers and their direct contact with customers after smoking. A smoking server is one of the first people who comes in contact with a customer as well as touching their food the last time before it reaches their table. A server who smokes and does not wash their hands has the risk of transferring toxins and carcinogens directly onto the plate due to not washing their hands. This is a hygiene factor due to the problems that can arise directly from this food being contaminated. This is unacceptable and should be unwarranted and not strived upon by managers. The problem with our smoking policy can result in multiple problems, such as customer complaints. This is a customer complaint from one of our stores in Delaware, and a brief overview of the complaint shows that the server showed blatant disregard of the smoking disclosure by smoking right in front of the entrance, by not washing their hands, and by greeting their customer immediately after smoking, reeking of cigarettes and dampening the customer's satisfaction to begin the entire evening. Afterwards, they saw the employees smoking again, and then soon after touching food and bringing it to other people's tables. This should be not tolerated and also not accepted by managers. And when our smoking policy directly affects our customers, I believe that it's time for a change to occur. This resulting problem showed that the customer is not going to return to Champs Americana due to the smoking policy. I believe that this requires a change. Another response to the misuse of our smoking policy is low employee morale. As a non-smoker, I can tell you it's very infuriating on multiple occasions turning around and seeing that a server is not at their tables doing their job, or a cook is not on the station making their food, but in fact outside smoking a cigarette. This is very infuriating for the fact that I would have to have unwilling insistence to help this person in order to make the restaurant run smoothly. I have no problem helping people, but I can see that with a repetitious matter, this will become a problem. This leads to increased tensions between employees and can actually damper their relationships outside of the workplace as well. Non-smoking employees also disapprove of smoke breaks, saying that they don't think it's an equity decision, saying that we shouldn't enforce a break around a habit, which I personally agree with. Our smoking policy has led to the decrease of production, hygiene, customer satisfaction, and employee morale. And that is leading our company's reputation at stake. We need to change the smoking policy in order to save the reputation of our company. My proposal is that we can increase production, hygiene, employee morale, as well as customer satisfaction by removing the pollutants found in tobacco and implementing a 100% smoke-free environment at Champs. The reasoning for my decisions are thusly. It increases productivity. Multiple studies have showed that on average, there are 4 hours a week that are spent outside on smoke breaks by smokers, on an average of a 40-hour work week. That is on average 10% of their work week. Multiply that by the amount of people that are smokers, and you have an exponential cost that should not be tolerated or warranted by managers. Smokers also miss on average 8 to 14 days more than non-smokers due to the health concerns that are followed by smoking cigarettes. By removing this possibility of having them smoke at the workplace, we have the possibility of having them quit in general and improving their overall health. This also improves customer experience by removing secondhand smoke contamination from both the from the air as well as from possible contamination from their food. They also receive better service due to the accountability from the servers being at their tables and the cooks being on their station at all times. This assurance is that their satisfaction and that their opinions are important to us. As a customer, you would not want to experience smoke in a restaurant, and neither should the people who are paying money to come to our restaurant. This also strengthens employee morale with a feeling of equity and fairness. As non-smokers have been stating, they believe that smoke breaks are unjust and they also dampen the productivity of our company. Another thing is that we as employers have a legal right to restrict smoking or implement a total smoke-free policy backed by New York State law. A conclusion to my presentation: by implementing a smoke-free work policy, we would increase productivity, increase accountability by having cooks and servers at their jobs, doing their jobs at all times, and knowing where they are at all times. Increased hygiene by reducing contamination from touch and through the air. Increase employee morale by implying an equity system that non-smokers will agree is fair, as well as improving customer satisfaction by showing that their needs and that their experience at Champs Americana is important to us. I would like to open the field up for any questions, and I was wondering if anyone has any. Yes?
Hi, I was wondering, when do you plan to implement this policy, and how long do you think it will take to implement the entire change?
That's a good question. Since we are during the holiday seasons, I don't think that doing a policy change right now would be very intelligent. It's very convenient that within 2 weeks is the new year. I would say implementing the new policy after the new year would be a good idea, but also informing the entirety of our employees about the change that is going to occur is crucial. The sooner that we can get the motion that change is occurring to our employees, the better.
A follow-up on that is, how do you plan to cope with the smokers and maybe some disgruntled employees based on the 100% smoke-free environment at Champs?
Unfortunately, this is one of the only downsides that comes from this decision. Unfortunately, no matter which way we cut it, the smokers in our restaurant are the minority. Out of the 63 employees that are employed at Champs Americana, there are 17 of them which are smokers, which is only 28%. So unfortunately, we can't abide by their needs when the majority of our customers, as well as our employees, backed with these decisions and conclusions that have come across. There's no warranting that this will be okay, but being supportive and allowing them to express their disgruntledness is important, and we need to make sure that we can have openness and the ability for communication between managers and customers, as well as employees. Thank you so much for all of your time, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.